Hi everyone, Chris Nansky here with Black Belt Leadership Speaking and Coaching with your Mind of a Champion tip of the week. You know, I've always found it fascinating how things that happen in our lives, even when we look back at them and we think they might be kind of small, can have a major impact on us when they happen, particularly when we're young, when we're kids, and how it kind of carries over and helps us develop as adults. And one such time that happened for me is when I was around 9 years old. I was at my cousin's house and a group of neighbor kids were all playing. And we're all being led by this young man named Johnny. Johnny was this slender young man with reddish hair, a couple years older than me, but extremely charismatic, just a natural born leader. In fact, anytime we do anything, Johnny was always the ringleader. And if he wasn't doing that, he was entertaining all the adults with his stand-up comedy routine. So this one time we were all getting together playing and we had taken a break. And we were all talking in a circle. And for some reason, that day, the subject of what it meant to be in shape came up. Now, I have to tell you, I was a little bit concerned about this because at that time in my life, I was anything but in shape. As a 9-year-old, I was a little chubby. And in fact, I had a real hard time with confidence that time in my life. Even though my mom called me husky, I knew there was something different about me because I didn't see the rolls of fat around the belly on my friends that I saw on me. And oftentimes the name of Chris Fatsky was used to tease me, and I can still hear that in my ears today. So anyway, we were having this discussion about what it meant to be in shape, and I'm listening to Johnny talk about this, and I'm hanging on every word. He's talking about the big, powerful chest and the muscles and the cut abs. That's what it meant to be in shape, much like the superheroes that I had admired all my life. By the way, when I was 5, I was Batman, but that's a whole other story. But the idea here was I was clinging on every word, and I was so excited, I finally just blurted out, Johnny, am I in shape? And he paused, and then he smiled, and then he looked at me and he said, yeah, Chris, you're in shape, like a watermelon. Well, all of a sudden, all the kids turned and looked at me, and then they looked at him, and then they looked at me again, and the laughter erupted. And I can tell you, it was like one of the worst days of my life. I just wanted to crawl under a rock. Now, pretty soon after that, the conversation went to something else, and all the kids forgot about it, but not this guy. In fact, it stayed with me for a long, long time. I moved on from that moment. I found martial arts very soon afterwards, started growing through puberty, and pretty soon the baby fat started to go away. And then I got involved in football and became an athlete there and became a black belt. But still, that watermelon boy was still underneath. And it was still impacting me in my self-image. In fact, I started to become really obsessed with workouts and how I was looking. But one day it came to a screeching halt. This is when my sons were young and we were off in Disney World having a vacation. And I was fretting because it was the second day in a row that I had to miss a workout. And I had all this consternation about this, and then finally it hit me. I'm not being present. Here I am with my boys at Disney World, the happiest place on earth, and I'm worried about the workout that I'm missing. And then I realized it's not that big of a deal if I miss it, number one. And number two, my kids are not going to love me any less if my body fat gets above 10%. So there's a real shift. And what I realized was I put so much of my self-image on my appearance. Now, it's not to say that I don't want to be in shape, but the idea is I would become obsessed by it. So my challenge for us this week is, where are there times in our lives that we're putting greater awareness and we're putting greater energy into something, a belief that we've created long, long ago? Because I know in my heart that the only way that we can transform, if we want to lose weight, if we want to make more money, if we want to have better careers or better relationships, it first comes with accepting ourselves right where we are. Because you're not going to change someone that you don't love. You're not going to change someone that you don't appreciate. And that's where transformation occurs. So in other words, I had to learn to love the watermelon boy. And so I'd encourage all of you this week is to do the same thing for yourself. Love yourself exactly where you're at. Accept yourself, because that's the first stage in transformation. So if you enjoyed this, I would love you to please like, share, or comment. Always really appreciate that. And we will see you next time on the Mind of a Champion Tip of the Week.